Here we are again. It's just running it back to back, as you can probably tell with the shirt. And this video is going over NRA Action Pistol. It was a match I shot at Pima Pistol Club. I believe they're the only gun club that still shoots NRA Action Pistol. And when I hear NRA, I have a certain word association with that, and I feel like a lot of people do this, at least in my age demographic. And there's a certain age association you probably think when you hear NRA. That being said, I wasn't sure what to expect. It was a Wednesday morning competition match, which I'm a shift worker already, so I guess most normal people work, Monday through Friday. I almost never remember what day of the week it is. That being, I repeat myself, as you can tell. However, it's one of those things where I'm reminded, oh yeah, people aren't going to really be here. This is going to be like an older crowd. And it was. And when you hear NRA and you think older crowd and it's a Wednesday morning in the middle of the week randomly, yeah, that's who you get. You get guys who are probably retired or are retired, or just have weird jobs that they work off hours. So how was it? It was fun. It was a good time. It wasn't a bad match. It was very unserious, especially because we got rained out. So it really got to the point. It's like, hey, don't even tape it up. Just like, let's just shoot. Like we can see if the bullets zipping through, if it's just absolutely missing. And we did that on the last stage. We're just like, nah, we're not taping it up. Like everybody just kind of go through. Like we can see if you're hitting or not because we were close enough to the targets. Super low round count. All my magazines were loaded to 6. And when I asked about that, and you'll see, it's because a lot of guys still run revolvers. So it's very revolver friendly. If that's something you shoot, you should go shoot an NRA Action match because it's going to be a low round count stage. I was expecting something not fun, but the stage designs, although simplistic, were still fun. I did enjoy them. They still worked on shooting skills. It wasn't just stand and deliver, no movement at all. Uh, you 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 were able to kind of freely play within the confines of what was expected, and obviously with the safe manipulation of the firearm. Would I go to an NRA action match again? I personally wouldn't, only because it's so low round count. One of the stages I actually part-timed out because for some reason I was just which is a fault of me, but I was just shooting, and for some reason I was expecting to need to reload right after, but it never came, so I just kept shooting, and then it caught me by surprise, and I reloaded, and yada yada yada, and that's a skill issue. I just wasn't thinking. I'm not used to having just 6 rounds in all my magazines too. I'm not used to that. Like I've done specific loaded starts, but usually the way the course of fire goes, when you're dumping your 6 rounds. Like it's going to be pretty quick and fast and right away, and then you can go back to like your normal round count that you're probably more accustomed to. It definitely just made me forget my place and forget how many rounds I have, and again, skill issue. So if you're trying to ball on a budget, if you're trying to compete, lower round count, I would go shoot an NRA action match. Every single stage we shot, with the exception of one, was an 18 round stage. One was 24 rounds. And all your magazines were loaded to 6 rounds. Yeah. And like any other local match, the creativity of the stages are dependent on your match director. And yeah, these were good stages, I would say. It was fun. I just wanted to shoot more. I just like shooting more. That's it. Um, which there's an argument to be said that I shot per stage maybe as much as like any IDPA match. Maybe I just didn't like the lower round count. It was good though. It was good. I wouldn't sleep on NRA action. I don't know if it's for everybody, but it's something different. And hey, you can have vanilla ice cream every night and say it's the best ice cream, but try it out. Anyways, I'm talking with Steve In this video, Steve has mostly shot NRA action. It's just it just works for his timing, I guess, for his schedule. And the way it worked at Pima Pistol, it seems as though depending on how many people register will determine the amount of stages there are. I believe we were only set for 5 stages. It ended up turning into 6 stages a couple days before the match started because enough people signed up. So NRA action is very dependent on the shooter involvement. It seems like they set up and tear down in the same day, and which is surprising because there was a vehicle in one of the stages. So I wonder how they set that up that day. I showed up late, unfortunately, just because it's a bit of a drive to go from Gilbert all the way down to Pima Pistol Club for me. But yeah, check out NRA action and check out a different shooting sport in general that is just different from what you normally do if you have the means and the time. Not everybody's going to drive from Phoenix to Tucson just to shoot a NRA action pistol match, but you get what I'm putting down. At least I hope you are. See you on the next one. One more time, your full name?
Steve Nolan.
Steve Nolan. Nice to meet you, Steve Nolan.
Nice
Ale, or Ollie. Most people call me Ollie.
Is it really Ale?
It's Ale.
Ale.
Ale, yeah.
Okay.
But most of my friends call me Ollie.
Okay.
But so we just finished shooting a NRA action match.
You did.
You've been shooting for about a year.
I think a year and a half. Yeah.
And a lot of your matches you've shot have been NRA action, but you have done USPSA and IDPA.
Only NRA action for a while, and then sometimes they usually use like a 2-week cadence on those, or it'll skip. And so I thought, oh, this is fun. I want to check out some other stuff. So they have at Pima Pistol Club here. There's IDPA, USPSA 2-gun, PCSL 2-gun. So a good friend of mine just got me into different stuff. Took me to the first 2-gun match, and I liked that.
That's good.
You know, it was overwhelming at first.
I'm sure
the AR stuff and everything, but yeah, I liked that a lot. And then just was out of curiosity, wanted to check out the other stuff, and so I tried most of what's available in Tucson just to see. Yeah.
Pima Pistols where you predominantly shoot?
Pima Pistol, yeah, mostly. I would say I've shot most of the matches here, and then there's a couple other places in Tucson, but they have a lot of matches here.
Yeah, they do. Arizona's a great place to shoot.
Every weekend, yeah.
So in your opinion, which is great that you do shoot other disciplines, what is NRA action in your opinion? Like, what is it to you, or what do you think how could you explain it to people without using the other sports? If you have to, absolutely.
Sure.
But how can you talk about NRA action?
NRA Action Pistol it's nice. It was explained to me like it's golf or something, which I don't know if that analogy 100% makes sense to me, but there's a part-time, there's a terminology but NRA Action Pistol, I think, is emphasis on precision, and it's a slower pace.
Bullseye shooting.
It's not, it's bullseye shooting, but there is dynamic elements, right? You're moving, there's reloads, tack reloads sometimes, things like that, but it's heavily emphasized on the scoring, whereas something in other sports, to not be named, right? A lot of times you're incentivized to just go super fast, but this is like you have to get the hits and all of the hits, and you have only that amount of rounds usually. Sometimes there's makeup shots, but usually it's like you have 18 rounds and you're going to get scored for 18 hits or not. So I think accuracy-based stuff and just fun, more but more compared to the other stuff. Definitely more emphasis on the precision, right? Where where's it landing?
The part-times definitely seem pretty forgiving. So like,
Today they were. Sometimes you'll be surprised. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's like, whoa, that one stuck off me. And I actually parred out on one of the stages today myself.
I did too.
You know, but a lot of times they are, but sometimes it's like you have to go.
You gotta actually go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So in your opinion, what's the culture of the community like? With NRA action, the group that's typically here the most often, what's that atmosphere like, and how is Pima Pistol Club as their culture, their environment, in your opinion?
It's just a bunch of grumpy, retired guys. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The gentleman that runs it, Steve Caffrey, is a very nice guy. Just a super gentlemanly guy that runs it every week and is very thorough on all the explanation stuff. As far as the culture, just because of timing, we're usually doing this, I think always, right? It's Wednesdays. Right now it's Wednesday, 11 a.m. So a lot of people have to work. I often have to work. So it just depends on if I'm able to get out for it or not. But
It's going to be shift
so
working
it is a
type
little bit
peoples or the
biased towards maybe
retirees.
retired people's
Yeah.
50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, just a nice group of people, very supportive, as is my understanding in most of the shooting sports in general, right? Super welcoming to newcomers,
Yeah.
anybody that has, there's no dumb questions. If you have questions, ask, ask a million questions, ask the same questions over and over, all that stuff. And lots of joking around and stuff, but
Yeah.
very, very friendly, supportive, and sometimes very competitive too.
I would say it was actually the most casual, like, you know what, let's just shoot match I've been to so far for a local match.
Yeah.
Just because maybe it's because of the rain, maybe it's because we got rained out a little bit, that I was like, you know what, who cares? Don't even
Yeah,
tape it up. Let's just
it was.
shoot.
It depends on the group you shoot with,
Yeah.
but always a good experience. And a lot of times, I think people get. I don't know, it's almost like people go to play basketball pickup games on the weekend. There's probably groups of people that like to shoot
Yeah.
together, and at the same time, people constantly mix up because there will be maybe a squad gets capped at say 7 people or something. So like I have a group of people that I would often normally shoot with, didn't shoot with them today just because that squad filled up, and I
Right.
registered later, and that's not a problem either. So people mix and match, and yeah, it's a really nice group of people though, and there's lots of sharing information, especially for like someone who's a
Yeah.
newcomer. They just, any questions, any help. Yeah.
Why should someone shoot NRA action? Why do you think?
NRA Action specifically, I
Yeah,
think
over the other ones.
is great because you will always continue to hone a foundation of safety. So absolute safety at the highest standards of that. Everything from muzzle discipline to what are you doing with your trigger finger. So starting with safety, then on top of that, really building a precision kind of mindset of like, can I actually put rounds where I want them to go? Not
Sure.
just can I hit that target, but like, no, you have to hit.
A specific circle.
You have a
Yeah.
baseball size thing. Can you hit that with some time stuff? And then also an interesting part. I know a lot of the people maybe in their 70s and 80s, it's almost like crossword puzzles because some of the stage courses of fire are challenging. And it's not challenging in the USPSA, like, okay, if I do this and I run and I jump over this, but sometimes just having to memorize,
exactly how you have to
because
do it.
opposed to some of the other disciplines,
Where there's
it
more
might be like,
freedom.
okay, you're going to shoot that target like 4 times.
Yeah.
Then you have to shoot this one weekend 1 time. And so there's different courses of fire, and it may vary on the strings. So there's
Sure.
in that sense, there's kind of a like a mental gymnastics.
Sure, I
kind
get
of
that. I understand.
just it's not as much like the strategy, but it's like, can you remember this thing
It demands an
and then
order to follow,
execute
and
that?
can
So
you
that's
know,
kind of cool. There's a cognitive side of that, but yeah, I think the safety and just getting more emphasis on the precision versus like maybe some of the other disciplines where it's
going
like, how
fast.
fast can you go and just physically do it. So that's what I would say. If you want more, especially if somebody ever had a bad experience
Yeah.
maybe with USPSA, or they're like, whoa, this was, sorry, I don't know if you want to talk
No,
about
no,
other
no, no, no,
if
no.
they went
It's
to
fine.
another
It's fine.
discipline and they were like, I don't know, people were running really fast and it was like just super intense. This is maybe more less like,
A good way to slowly walk
yeah,
into it
it
more.
wouldn't be as
Yeah,
overstimulating, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
especially you start shooting, there's all these loud noises going on. Maybe your nervous system kind of fires up. So
Here's a question: is the round count typically this low? Like, this is the first time where every single stage for me it was one stage with 4 mags, but the round count was 6 rounds for each magazine, no matter
usually
what.
we'll always be capped at 6 rounds for, and
Okay.
I don't know if that's all NRA Action Pistol or this is Steve's NRA Action Pistol, the flavor, but there's a lot of people that are shooting revolvers out here.
That's fair. That's
So
fair.
they're all,
So it's gonna be
we download,
yeah.
we download to 6, sometimes 5 or other, sometimes it'll be funky.
Yeah.
This one time it was like, this was a funny stage. It was like, you had everything 6 and under, but you had your magazines loaded. Then you toss them out on a barrel. Somebody shuffled them and they go, here's your mag. Here you start. So you don't know if you're starting with 4 or 5, whatever.
One.
But
Okay.
yeah, almost always I think for this we're going down to 6 because
Got
there's
it.
a lot of people doing revolvers.
Shoot with the revolvers. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool. Well, I think the only other question I have for you is like, what's something you want to see with the shooting sports? What's an ambition you have for yourself personally with shooting sports, and what's something you would like to see other people to either come to or learn about shooting sports?
I think something I guess I personally feel compelled for shooting sports just to make sure that it's accessible to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there can be political implications, or everybody's got their
Sure.
sort of stuff with that. But guns as it's such a wide-reaching hobby in the sense of you have people who are professionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have There's a guy that I shoot with who's all the time, who's a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
There's people who use firearms in a professional capacity for life saving or enforcing, enforcing safety, stuff like that. Military. There's also people where this is maybe I fall into this category. It's like a glorified pea shooter, right? It's like the natural progression. You're a kid, you're throwing rocks. Then you got pea shooters, then slingshots. There's something about projectiles that's fun. So it's a hobby, and there's room for all of that. So there's people that are super intense, maybe tactical side. Then there's people that are just like, I want to shoot the most obscure, weirdest, like 1932 flintlock. Like, so I like for myself, I want to make sure that I promote that culture of like, we don't have to be homogenized, certainly not politically, but also just interest wise too.
Yeah.
We some people are like, hey, this person's going to shoot this like pirate looking gun as long as it's safe, right? Stuff like that. And just making sure I like encouraging other people for whatever their thing is. Like I was talking to Jim on our squad today. He and I are both transitioning over to red dots, don't have a lot of experience there. It's challenging for me personally. It's extremely hard to get a good index. And so for my, as far as like what I'm personally, my goals is just to continue. I want to continue to have the highest personal level of safety, right? Just firearm handling safety. Everything has to be as safe as possible. Then beyond that, just continuing to feel like I have better precision with shots. And then so much of it for me is the eyes right now, making sure, okay, are my eyes precisely, focusing? That's what's the funny thing about shooting. Like I said, some people it's pea shooters. Some people it's like, they're almost more working their eyes than their fingers and stuff. There's like this optical, like how fast can you, focus on different things, and there's like ocular stuff. But for me, just trying to shoot better, more accurately, stay safe, and maybe speed a little bit. But
and always having fun, right?
Yes. All right. Yes. So safety, fun, that's always has to underlie all of it. And then the other stuff, like I'm not just by nature, I'm not super competitive and stuff, at least against others. I am kind of against myself. But I just want to get better with, feel like better accuracy, and in the red dot stuff is very again, this is not like this isn't like, I gotta be able to hit people from, no, it's just, it's like this, it's a tool. It's an interesting thing. There's technology. So using the red dot is way different for me and challenging. So, and that's also something I love about shooting is it's extremely hard. I don't hear people say that. People like say, oh, it's easier. It's this or that. It is extremely hard for me. And that's why I like it. It's so challenging and nothing about it is easy. And it is super fun. So thanks for reminding me that.
Yeah,
I forgot to say that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for sharing your opinions and everything. And
nice shooting.
I'm grateful that because I pick random squads, right? So it's fortunate that you've shot enough NRA action to have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And you've also shot other disciplines to have a contrasting opinion on it.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for people who don't just box themselves in, or if they have at least tried the different flavors.
Yeah, it's all fair game for me, and I run the same rig for IDPA. I have to switch it up a little bit, but I'm just there to have fun and still shoot, and then I'll bend my shooting to their rules. But the NRA Action Pistol. Do we just have that in Tucson, or do they?
I have not seen an NRA Action in any of the Phoenix clubs so far. I've only seen it at Pima Pistol Club. So that's why I want to come to it, because there's a little bit of
shout out to Steve Caffrey, who's Steve, who's the guy who's the guy that runs it. Is just such a nice guy, and
that's good.
I've got to shoot with him a couple of times, which is cool too. And he's like a wealth of knowledge, because this is his match, and he knows precisely like those weird edge cases. Like, okay, the bullet broke the perforation on this cardboard, but it also hit this no shoot and stuff. And so I've learned a lot of stuff from him.
Well, hey, again, one more time, I appreciate your time.
Yes, Ali,
and hopefully I'll see you at the 2-gun action. I don't know if it'll be Saturday, but maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. My kids have a basketball game, so I can't shoot that one. That's one's more important. But that's a super fun match.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and
go for it, man.
Yep. Right. That's great. Yeah, it's fine. All right. One more time. May I put my hands on you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. It's just
no, everybody's got. You never know. Some people are different, like the personal space.
It's like, also it's also like a thing, like just because I'm a paramedic, so like it's a normal question for me to ask.
Yeah.
But